Welcome to the future, where the glass is half full and you'll need new glasses, where you'll be jumping from conclusions.
The past is annulled, and a new future is born.
Never before in history has so much meant so little to so many. AD on the radio.
So, I think that one of the coolest things about being on the radio is getting messages from people that listen. And I remember realizing this the very first day I ever went on the air. They're like, okay, here's your company email account. Here is your login so that you can go on the air and make all these flashing candy-colored lights light up and talk to this city of Houston that we've decided to put you on in. And I remember I'd been on the air for about a half hour when, ding, I get my first email. And I was like, I kind of forgot. You kind of forget that there's people listening. I've always had a hard time reconciling the fact that people listen to the things that I say. Someone's like, I heard you say this on the air the other day. I'm like, really? You listen? Well, sure, yeah. I always think no one's listening. I don't know. But it's cool getting emails from listeners. Not necessarily because I feel like I need some sort of pat on the back for doing what I do, but the kind of emails that I really enjoy are the ones that let me know what it is you're doing as you're listening, or what you're up to, or what's going on in your life. Because, look, to get a clear picture of who it is that's part of the show, who it is that's part of my radio family, what it is you're up to, what you like, what you dislike, what you're going through, what your daily life looks like. Any kind of time I get a communication that gives me an idea of that, man, it just feels really good because it brings me closer to you. And look, the reason why I do radio is because I get a chance to be a part of a community. Hopefully, I get a chance to add some value to your day. Hopefully, I leave the world a little bit better of a place than I found it by being goofy and sharing music and laughs and conversation with you every single day on the radio. That's why I do this. So anytime I hear from you about who you are and what you're doing and what you're up to and what you're thinking, what's on your mind, it really means a lot. Got an email at one of the stations I work for in San Diego the other day from a listener. And she's also the mom of a listener. This email was a poignant one. It said, "Hi. On May 15th, 2017, about 9 p.m., my son, Aaron Foley, was helping his buddy who lost control of his motorcycle and fell off. When he went to go cross the street, he was hit by a Chevy Silverado, which has resulted in him being paralyzed from the waist down, broken ribs, as well as road rash cuts, bruises, both lungs burst, and a lacerated liver. Aaron is now at a rehabilitation center, working hard to continue his life to the fullest without being able to walk. My son has asked that Corey Taylor, who's the lead singer of Slipknot and Stone Sour, come to visit him when he is in town. As a mom, I've tried very, very hard to make this happen, but I'm only finding dead ends. Please let me know if anyone might be able to assist with my request." Well, we reached out to Corey Taylor, his record label, his management. It came back an instant yes. Absolutely. Here's where we're going to be. Here's where we're going to pick you up. And let's go do this. So the other day, I get a chance to go pick up Corey Taylor and his enormous security guard from the venue where they're about to play with Korn, and drive him in my car to go meet Aaron. And Aaron didn't know this was happening. Now, there's a video that I'm going to post. It'll be on my blog, of Corey, lead singer of Slipknot and Stone Sour, meeting Aaron. And I got to tell you, it was one of the greatest things, if not the greatest thing I've ever gotten to do in radio. Why? Well, it was the level of compassion from one human being to another that was on display, regardless of who they were, regardless of if they have records that I play on the radio. Like I said, one of the coolest things I've ever gotten a chance to do. But on our drive on the way to see Aaron, Corey and I had a really, really interesting conversation, which I'm going to play for you a little later on in the show. I can't wait for you to hear it.
Real radio.
104.1.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio, on Twitter at ADSXE.
So like I said, got an email from a listener's mom, and she listens as well, who asked that her son that had been in a devastating accident, after trying to help somebody else, after helping a friend, he was hit by a truck and is basically picking up pieces of his life, trying to figure out what is next. And what this kid wanted more than anything else was for Corey Taylor of Slipknot and Stone Sour to come and visit him. We reached out to Corey Taylor, and immediately the answer came back, yep, absolutely. Where, when, let's do this. Right on. And so, like I said, I got to witness one of the coolest things I've ever witnessed in radio. Not because this guy's a rock star of a performer and a musician. No, because he's a rock star of a human being. And it didn't matter who these two people were. To see the outpouring of compassion from one human to another made this far and away the best thing I've ever gotten to do in radio. One of the best things I've ever gotten to do in radio. Meant a lot. Because that, my friend, is the stuff that will get us through. And like I said, I had an incredible conversation as I picked up Corey Taylor and drove him from the venue to go meet this guy, Aaron, in the rehabilitation center. We had a really, really interesting chat, which I'll share with you a little later on in the show. Right now, though, Funkhauser, let's take a look at the events of today in our segment, My Witness News. What is going on in the world?
This is My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair and certainly not balanced. And now, super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhauser.
I'm just excited because of Corey Taylor. Big fan over here.
You know, that guy is the real deal. Like,
was he nice? Like,
nicest, most genuine human being you could ever hope to meet. Beyond nice. It's just gregarious, outgoing, good-hearted dude. And, you know, this is a guy. If your first encounter with him was seeing him as the lead singer of Slipknot, that's a reason. That's an individual that you have plenty of reason to be a little bit scared of. They make ugly, angry, awesome, powerful music, and you wouldn't expect him to be so happy and or go lucky. But yeah, unbelievably nice, kind-hearted soul. Very, very genuine. Couldn't say enough good things about this dude. So yeah, no, you're in for a treat, and we had a great conversation. It's nice, right? It's nice when you meet people whose music has reached you, and you go, all right, they're excellent as a human being. That's great. And interestingly enough, that's kind of what Corey Taylor talked about. And you know who? Well, we'll get to it in the interview, but you know who he takes his cues from in terms of how he treats people as he goes through the world? Henry Rollins.
Oh, all right then.
Yeah. And like, it's so funny because like Henry Rollins, like his work as a spoken word, whatever you want to call it, like that first Henry Rollins spoken word album that I got, my friend Greg gave me the Boxed Life, this box set of Henry Rollins, and just like he was like, learn it, love it, know it, live it. And ever since then, the work of Henry Rollins has sort of been a roadmap for a lot of people, me being one of them and Corey Taylor being another one of them. It's interesting stuff, and we'll get into it later. Right now, though, what is going on in the world, Funkhauser?
Rob Kardashian and Black China took their daughter to Disneyland this past Sunday.
Oh, man, I'm going to Disneyland soon. I wanted a churro. I'm going to guess they're out now. Go on.
No. You just need a credit card and 2 forms of ID to buy a churro these days. It's like $9. A dispute between 2 customers at a Chicago Starbucks resulted in a stabbing.
Yeah, you know how you might know that you're drinking too much coffee? When you stab someone before you get yours.
Macchiato!
You know, it sounds terrible, and of course it is. But you got to recognize that when 2 people simultaneously reach for the same Sarah McLachlan CD, things can get serious pretty quick. Go on.
A baby born mid-flight is getting free plane tickets for life.
Wow. That baby must have been very early, because I was pretty sure that expectant mothers, after a certain point, weren't allowed to fly. They based a whole episode of Friends on this. Remember? Phoebe's at home. She's pregnant because she can't go to the wedding in London because she's pregnant and can't fly. And yeah, so I'm guessing the baby was born early and gets free plane tickets for life, huh? Well, that's cool. But I think it was a United flight, so the kid might not live that long. Go on.
Oh. A major leak possibly revealed personal information on every registered U.S. voter dating back more than a decade.
You know, and this is
what?
This is the freaking thing. This is the freaking thing.
That's not supposed to happen.
It's a freaking thing about data privacy. Like, we're supposed to vote for you when you can't even keep track of our details. When you the stuff that we got to give up to register. I don't need my information out there for the government to lose it. Government sucks at doing stuff. They take our tax dollars and then insist on taking all of our information. And look what they do with it. They lose it. They haphazardly lose it. Yeah, major leak revealed personal information on every registered U.S. voter dating back more than a decade. Luckily, 2/3 of the population has nothing to worry about. It's because they don't vote. Nah. Democratic participation humor.
For more stimulation and less irritation, 9 out of 10 doctors choose KPRC AM 950. Houston's more stimulating talk radio.
Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of you guys out there in Radioland. All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah. Give it up, yeah. Bring this on, come on, come on.
All right, Funkhauser. So we're sort of killing time until we talk to Corey Taylor of Slipknot and Stone Sour.
Till you get in the car?
Yeah, till I get in the car. No, till I play the interview that we did. And bear in mind, it sounds like we did it in my car, but it's an awesome
kind of cool. It's like, so, we're going to Chuck E. Cheese together.
It's a theater of the mind stuff, and we'll give you a chance to check that out a little later on. Right now, though, what else is going on in the world, Funkhauser?
Well, yesterday, I think, was the first day of summer.
Yeah, you could tell because at Target, they're busy putting up their Halloween decorations. I get bummed out about the first day of summer. I know it's technically the first day of summer,
but is where we're opposite.
Oh?
Yeah, I think, you're a summer guy and I'm a winter guy, so I'm starting to get excited where you're starting to dread.
Because, the days are getting shorter now, right? Mm-hmm. That's how it works. The days are getting short. I hate
the nights are getting longer.
I prefer the weather in the fall or the spring. Those are the seasons that I enjoy the most. But, as much daylight as is humanly possible. For one brief second, I was getting home occasionally, once in a blue freaking moon, while it was still light out. And I was like, oh, this is great. I can take a walk outside with Millhouse and actually see the dog. And, it's just the idea of the days getting shorter. I'm unstoked about the whole prospect of this. This is when like that seasonal, what's it called? It's called SAD. Seasonal affective disorder. SAD. This is when I start worrying about it, and then it kicks in early because I've been worrying about it since the first day of summer. It's no good whatsoever. I tell you, no good. I wish it were summer all the time. I think what I should try and do is live one half of the year in one hemisphere and the other half in the other. So in December, I can head to Australia where it's summertime at Christmas time. Make sense?
Yeah, I would do that. But the other way around, I would go to where it's winter.
You would just constantly live in
not snow.
Doesn't the lack of daylight bum you the hell out, though?
No, man. I'm a night owl.
I've always been a night owl. I've always been a late night person.
Well,
but it's just like
I'm on the other side, though. If I can get up before the sun, I'm in good shape. But once this summer happens, the sun's up at like 5.
If I can go to sleep before the sun comes up, I'm in good shape.
See, this is what makes us a dynamic duo.
Yeah, for the 2 hours of the day that we're both awake, we do this. Okay,
awake in quotes.
Yeah.
A new study says June is the best month for one-night stands.
And also 1 hour stands, replied Bill Cosby. I don't think there's a whole lot of standing involved in those situations. Sort of like, I feel woozy, I gotta sit down. Go on.
Donald Trump bragged that employment is up during his presidency.
Well, yeah, had to create a lot of new jobs to investigate his connection to Russia, but all right, potato. No, that's actually really cool. And look, so many people slam Trump so much of the time. People on the right do it, people on the left do it, and look, there's nobody perfect. And far be it from me to say that Trump's almost perfect, but there's never going to be this fictionalized, idealized candidate that's just going to be right about everything, and you're going to be happy with all the decisions that they're going to make.
Never say never. It might happen.
I believe in calling a spade a spade. If something is good, if a candidate or a president or any kind of world leader or politician or community leader, whoever the hell it is that you've elected as this official, does anything good or right or something works out, well, I guarantee you there's going to be a bunch of other things on the flip side that you despise. So despise the things that you're going to despise, but don't be afraid to be like, that actually was good. It's this vilifying of literally anyone, this seeing every situation in such absolute black and white terms that is dumbing us down as a nation. It's a simple narrative for a simple people. Don't be one of those things. Go, hey, more people have jobs. That's pretty cool. It's like the people that work in the production lines in in the Midwest. And people have jobs there that were going to Mexico a year and a half ago. And that's pretty cool. And whether you despise Trump or not, I think you can find it in your heart to be happy for a bunch of people that now have jobs here in America making American cars for Americans. It's not bad. It's really not all that bad. What else?
A Spanish company is selling ultra-realistic robot babies.
What?
Okay.
Just what? Why?
Well,
why would you?
I get why.
Why?
Well,
practice for having a baby, or have we graduated past that home ec class where you got to walk around with a bag of flour like it's your kid? Is this what this is for?
I hate to be a bummer about it, but I think it's for moms that lose their baby.
No,
but they have
that's not the same thing. That's
syndrome where you.
No, that can't be. You can't make ultra realistic robot babies No, that can't be why they're making them.
Well, give me a better reason.
I don't know. Maybe it's because they're perfect for people who love robots, love babies, and love unbelievably creepy things. It's very strange.
Go, gaga.
Go on.
Reboot me.
No. Go on.
Yesterday was National Martini Day.
Yeah. I know because I could hear the martini shaker noise from underneath every single coworker's desk. Continue.
Gene Simmons is trying to patent the devil horn symbol that rock stars do. You know, the...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's trying to patent it. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, and I think Ronnie James Dio's wife is saying that Gene Simmons is kind of an ass clown for doing this because Ronnie James Dio kind of thinks he might be the origin of that. Like it was something that his Italian grandma used to do, and he just sort of adopted it. But he never tried to say, I own it. He never tried to put a patent on it. Gene Simmons is trying to patent the devil horn symbol, but that's... Yeah. No. Sorry. Too bad, so sad. I'm sorry, Gene Simmons. You do not own that. But there's a different hand gesture that I feel a lot of people would like you to have at this stage of the game after trying to pull something like that. Patenting a devil horn hand gesture.
Can I license the finger? Can I?
Yeah, go on.
Next to my golf course. A Beatle had a birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Which Beatle and which birthday? Take a guess.
Was it Macca? Paul McCartney?
Mm-hmm.
And he turned
Carry the two.
Yeah, he turned 75 this past Sunday, just gone by. Mm-hmm. Paul McCartney turned 75. And you know what? We all wish him well for a lot of reasons. One, he's Paul McCartney, and he's brought people so much happiness. It's a weird thing. You ever seen people meet Paul McCartney? One of the stations that is down the hall from me did a meet and greet with him. You ever seen people come into contact?
I have not. No.
He just makes people happy. People get happy around him. And it's not this fawning, crying fan type of happy that maybe it started out with. Screaming girls and all the above that were associated with Beatlemania. No. It's people are genuinely happy because he's made such a massive contribution to their lives. He's done so many things that have brought them joy, and then people see him and they just get happy. So, yeah, fans all over the world are wishing Paul McCartney well on his 75th birthday. Also wishing him well because who wants to live in a world where Ringo is the last surviving Beatle? Go on.
Oh, man. Barry Manilow turned 74.
So only like 6 more years, and he's going to be the same age as his youngest fans. Actually, it's not in the interview. It's
you
not in the
interview. Leave him alone.
Corey Taylor, Slipknot, Stone Sour, big fan of Barry Manilow. And the father of this guy, Aaron, that we met, whose name is also Aaron, he's a big Manilow fan as well. And he goes as far to call himself... You know what Manilow fans call themselves?
What?
He's a fanalo. This is a thing. Yeah. He's a genuine card-carrying fanalo. And I think you might get a card when you become a fanalo.
I was named after him, so I should investigate.
You should.
I might get like a gold card.
Barry Funkhauser. There you go.
No, Manilow. It's my middle name.
Barry Fanilow Funkhauser.
Yeah.
Go on.
On Thursday, Jay-Z became the first rapper inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Yeah, yep. And you know what? Thinking about it, I'm very, very surprised that hadn't happened before now. Like, hip-hop as an accepted art form has been around for quite some time. And you know what? If he's the very first rapper ever to be inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, then Songwriters Hall of Fame has a whole lot of catching up to do. Jay-Z earned that honor fair and square by writing songs that move people, that reach people, that affected the masses, and also by discovering that all words can rhyme if you make them end with Izzo. Go on.
Leonardo DiCaprio is campaigning to save an endangered dolphin.
Yeah, I heard about this. You know, I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. A lot of people are saying that you're campaigning to save just one dolphin. Come on, you got better things that you can do with your Rockstar Millions and time. And yeah, I think it's really good. Not everybody, or no one can help everyone, but everyone can help someone or something. And he's taken it upon himself to help save an endangered dolphin. And like I said, I think that's great. I would imagine that a lot of what he deals with in Hollywood makes him feel empty. And you know what this gives him, Funkhauser?
What?
Trying to save this endangered dolphin? It gives him a porpoise.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I'll show myself out.
More like, I haven't had a girlfriend in a while. Can you make some press that will instantly give me a girlfriend?
That's ridiculous, Funkhauser. If there's one thing that we know about Leonardo DiCaprio, a man that uses and disposes of women like shake and bake bags, is that he doesn't need any help in the girl getting department.
How do you
he's
know?
Doing this out of... You just know.
Okay, fine.
You're very much aware.
Unconfirmed rumor.
Yeah, okay.
Believable.
Whatever gets you through the day.
A politician in Sweden wants schools to play music in bathrooms to cover up the embarrassing sounds students make when they go.
I heard about this, and this is, the whole sort of like, hey, we're raising our children to not be able to deal with the real world argument. This sort of falls into that category a little bit. I'm going to guess if you dig back into this politician's past, he probably had an embarrassing moment in school, and he was like, no child should ever have to go through anything like this all over again. Someday I'll become a politician, and I'll make it so that children don't have to suffer the slings and arrows of criticisms about the sounds of their bowel movements in the bathroom. Like, it's got to be the case. But here's the thing. The idea's actually picked up some steam, and it might actually be a thing in Sweden. And if it catches on, look for it to start happening in America. Music being played in school bathrooms to cover up the embarrassing sounds students make when they go. Here's the thing. Not specific about the type of music. He says any music will do. Although they should probably go with Slayer on Taco Tuesday. Continue.
Researchers say a few genetic tweaks to the Chinese bird flu virus could lead to a pandemic.
I saw this, and maybe I'm oversimplifying the situation, but I saw it, and I read the headline, and I was like, all right, so let me get this straight. Let me disseminate the facts. Researchers are saying that with a few genetic tweaks, all it would take is a few genetic tweaks, and all of a sudden the Chinese bird flu could lead to a pandemic. So here's my idea, and once again, hashtag not a scientist. But how about we just not genetically tweak the Chinese bird flu? Would that solve the problem? I think it would. Bazinga. Give me a Nobel Prize. Anything else?
No, just we're about to go to the thing and do the... we're getting in the car.
One more piece of news.
An enormous blimp crashed and burned at the U.S. Open.
Oh, better luck next time, John Daly.
Sometimes you just know you're done.
He's trying.
Longing for that shining sun. You walk these streets most every day.
Now, more AD on the radio.
Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you my musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a body better than me. Back once again.
So if you're just joining us, got an email a little while ago, just a couple days ago, from the mother of a listener, who's a listener herself of one of the radio stations that I work for, Rockin' a 5-3 in San Diego. And she wrote, on May 15th, at about 9 p.m., my son Aaron Foley was helping his buddy who lost control of his motorcycle and fell off. When he went to go cross the street, he was hit by a truck, which resulted in him being paralyzed from the waist down, broken ribs, as well as road rash, cuts, bruises, both lungs burst, and a lacerated liver. Aaron is now at the rehabilitation center, working hard to continue to live his life to the fullest without being able to walk. My son has asked that Corey Taylor of Slipknot and Stone Sour come to visit him when he's in town on the 20th. As a mom, I've tried very hard to make this happen, but I'm only finding dead ends. Please let me know if anyone might be able to assist with my request. Well, immediately reached out to Corey Taylor's record label, management, anyone we could think of to try and make this happen. But we knew going in, look, there's every reason a rock star would not be able to make something like this happen. Every reason. look, it's their time. It's short. It's limited. Folks like this that get to that stage in the game, like Corey Taylor has, work really, really hard a lot of the time. Every second of every day is accounted for and filled with some sort of responsibility. I remember once one of the guys from the Goo Goo Dolls told me, like, you think being a rock star is just slacking off and having a good time? I get up earlier than my dad does every single day, and my father's a mailman. So like I said, super last minute reaching out to Corey Taylor. Every reason why he wouldn't have been able to do this, or maybe wouldn't have wanted to do it. This might have been the one little bit of free time he got in the day. We didn't know, but we had to try. Here's the thing. Immediately came back. Yep. Where do I have to be? What do you need me to do? Let's go see this guy. Yeah, for sure. Not even a question. Absolutely. So I go pick up Corey Taylor at the venue and drive him out to the rehabilitation center to meet Aaron. And there's a video of their meeting, which I'm going to post. It's great, great stuff, just because it was the best thing I've ever gotten to do in radio. Seeing that level of compassion from one human being to another. Didn't matter that person had records that we play on the air. It was, like I said, that level of compassion that made it special. And it's that stuff, my friend, that will get us through. But on the way out to the hospital to meet Aaron, I had a really cool conversation in my car with Corey Taylor. And, well, let's take a listen to that. So we're off to meet Aaron, who's a huge fan of yours.
Yeah.
Facing a huge challenge. He, when trying to help his friend who had been in a motorcycle accident, he was hit by a car. He's basically lost the use of his legs, and he's a humongous Slipknot fan, a humongous fan of everything that you do.
Yeah.
And you've taken time out of your day before the show tonight to go see him, say hello. He doesn't know you're coming, by the way.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
His mom set it up, and we're really excited for it. Was there ever anything like this? Like, one thing that has been the case since day one with Slipknot, with Stone Sour, with everything that you do, is you are completely invested in your fans. You are close with them. You have a real relationship. Anytime I've been to see you, it's not like a band playing. It's a shared experience between you and the crowd.
Yeah.
Did anybody ever do anything like this for you? Was there like someone that did something similar, or that you were
really
so invested in their music?
No. I mean, I was just invested in the music. You know, like it wasn't honestly until I got on the other side and started working in this business that I really started loving the fact that a lot of the people that I listened to were also good people,
right?
You know, like good humans, good, you know, people who just went out of their way for the fans and just went above and beyond. And I kind of took my cue from that, you know, like it was one of those things where, you know, I kind of went off the rails a little bit when I was younger, obviously. Music kept me on the straight and narrow, but it wasn't until I saw that human side that it gave me something to aspire to as a person myself, because inherently I wanted to be a good person, but I was trying to find that balance inside this industry, and sometimes you're encouraged not to be. And it gave me the confidence to be like, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing, even if it comes off as you know, goody or you know, not as edgy and whatever. It's like I kind of had to just say that and be like, I would rather be myself than play a part for 20 years. I certainly am not pretending to be somebody else in my music. Why would I pretend to be somebody else in my life?
Right.
You know? So that was something that I took from the people who I looked up to. You know, but like I said, it wasn't until after I got on the other side and I really saw the other side and honestly experienced the work that goes into this, which there is quite a bit if you're dedicated to it. So I guess I'm kind of lucky, and you know, maybe it was because I could feel that in the music, that I could see that there was a definite good individual trying to purvey that message. You know?
Do you remember, you said that you noticed some of the guys and girls and bands you liked were really solid people. Do you remember who that might have been? Like,
oh, Rollins, definitely.
Yes.
Henry Rollins. Like, just if there was ever a dude who I, you know, looked up to the most, you know, between him and Mike Patton, like those would be the dudes that like once I really started to develop my talent as well, you know, like, and my writing skills, like those were the dudes that I really looked up to. Before that, people like, you know, everybody from, you know, James Hetfield to Sebastian Bach, 'cause I was a huge Skid Row fan as well. Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue, you know, like so like people who were really invested in kind of getting their, you know, getting together and being good people, you know, and also, you know, encouraging the audience to have a good time, you know, like that, because there's that give and push and pull that goes on there. So so you know, once I kind of developed my, you know, my style and saw where my strengths were, you know, that was where, you know, that's when I really, you know, started to realize that I was closer to Rollins and Pat than anybody else. Not taking away from my enjoyment of the other music. Sure. But I just knew that was more where I was at, you know.
Did you, do you think maybe something like listening to Get in the Van or reading Get in the Van sort of affected the way you approached life on the road?
Actually, Big Ugly Mouth was closer to the point. Right. Because I'd had all of Henry's like spoken word stuff, like even way before Get in the Van got. Right. Yeah. He used to come to Iowa twice a year. And we would always go see him do his spoken word stuff. So we would see stuff that he was working out before he even recorded it. Right. It was really cool. That's awesome. I told him that, you know, years later when you know, I got to meet him and everything, and he just started laughing. He's like, he would just go off on these crazy tangents about all these places that he would go, and you could just sit there and listen to him for hours.
I remember the first time I ever came across a spoken word was The Box Life, which was like this massive box set. And like, it's so weird because I've spoken to so many people, myself included, where that's essentially been a roadmap for life. Like so much of, you know, like what Rollins has done in his spoken word has been sort of like kind of a guide to the world for a lot of people.
Yeah, man, and which is good because it offers more to life than the surface stuff that music can offer. You know, with a lot of music, it's either, hey, let's party, or hey, everything sucks. Right. You know, and there's really no in between. There's no practicality to it. You know, and for me, I've tried to kind of fill in the blanks on that as much as I could. But with Rollins, man, it was purely instinct for him. It just made sense, which in a lot of ways you think would make sense for a lot of people. You know? It's like, oh yeah, duh. Let's kind of show that other thing. So for him to share that, man, is huge.
Yeah, I think one thing, like a lot of people, and I kind of see this in what you've done, Rollins just seems to have said yes to pretty much anything that comes his way. Like, okay, yes. Yeah. And he goes off and does it. And it makes total sense looking at what you've done, where it's just like, you want to go play acoustic for people at a pub in England? Sure. Yeah. You want to go tell stories to people and not play any music at all? Why not? And but it all works, and it's like, it's almost like you live your life out loud, and it becomes content for everything that you do, whether it's a Stone Sour record, a Slipknot record, spoken word, acoustic, and any of the above.
I mean, I can't speak for Henry, but you know, when you work so hard, you eventually kind of get to the point where you can then follow your interests. Like, I don't just take opportunities because they're offered to me. Trust me, I turn down way more than people even know. Right. But the stuff that I do is absolutely my wheelhouse, my interest, and stuff that even if I've never done it before, like acting or stuff like that, or even the books, it was just stuff that I always wanted to do. I had interest to do. You know? Like, so it literally gets to the point where after a certain point in your life, if you've worked hard enough and you've garnered that kind of success, thankfully, you can start to trade that hard work for, you know, interests paying off. You know?
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, you get to... when I look at you, I look at a guy that is doing all these things that he would be doing whether or not they were his job.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's stuff that I would be doing behind closed doors, like whether anybody was paying attention to it. It's like music, though. I mean, if I wasn't doing this, I'd still be making music. Even if I was just jamming on the weekends with friends or just doing weird SoundCloud recordings now, you know.
Leave the stimulation to the professionals.
Everyone is so smart.
KPRC, more stimulating talk radio.
There's something happening here, and you should know what it is. The Dumbing Up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
So here's more of my conversation with Corey Taylor in my car on the way to go meet a fan, Aaron, at the hospital, where he is in rehab after having been paralyzed from the waist down after being hit by a truck. Do you remember the moment where it kind of became clear that music was it for you? Because do you read that book Dave Grohl's mom wrote about raising a rock star?
No.
She wrote it like right in time for Mother's Day. And she talked to other moms of rock stars, and it seemed as though right around early teens, like 12, 13, 14, they'd already had an aptitude and a love for music. But she was like, I saw at age 13 this was going to be it, and I better figure out how to give him the best shot at doing this. Do you remember a moment where there kind of wasn't any turning back?
No, not really. I mean, I think it was a series of moments for me, just because my home life was a lot more sporadic than most.
Right.
And my grandma is actually the one that really encouraged me to, helped me get equipment and, encouraged me to practice and like jam with other people, loved my songwriting. To this day, she still loves it, I went in and she was in the hospital and I played her one of the new songs from the album, Saint Marie. And it's really inspired by growing up, hanging out with my grandmother and my uncles and aunts and stuff, and listening to the country music that they listen to, And she just started tearing up, like she loved it,
Really?
It was really cool, and that being able to share that moment with my grandmother is huge, because she she encouraged me not only to pursue it, but also to work as voraciously as I do. She is insane. She still works. She's 90 years old, and she actually had to take some time off because of health reasons, and she's pissed about it. She's not happy. She retired from one place, took a year off, got bored, went back to work. Has been working at this place longer than the place she retired from. And I'm like, you're a maniac. Right. Could you just let yourself be 90 for 2 seconds? And she's just mad all the day. I'm like, come on, man. So that's kind of where I get it, Right. My grandmother is just such an inspiration that, she's like, do what you want to do, and if you do, you'll never be bummed out.
What does your grandmother do?
My grandmother's an accountant. She is sharp, man. She is incredibly sharp. So she's very there as well.
When you first started to make a profession out of music, would you dump off a box of receipts to your grandma and make this into something? Do my taxes?
No, I would never do that to her. She probably would have done it too, but I didn't want to do that. The first thing I did was I had every plaque that I got, I made sure she had a copy.
Oh, that's awesome.
And to the point where she told me to stop because there were too many of them. She's like, I don't have any room in my house for any of these. They're just sitting in corners. And I'm like, yeah, but they're for you. And she's like, and I love you, but I have no room for these. Stop it. I'm very proud of you. Now stop it. It was very funny.
That's awesome. So, growing up listening to your grandma's country music brings me to the next question. Any truth to the rumors that I've heard about a Corey Taylor country record?
It's something I've talked about, but my interest, dude, I fly all over the place. I want to do a country album. I want to do a dark acoustic album. Actually, not too long ago, I started seriously thinking about doing a jazz album. Something really cool, putting together my own group and rehearsing it and recording it live. I've got about 6 or 7 tunes that I've written that would actually lend itself to it.
What kind of jazz? If you had to pick your jazz guy?
Smoky nightclub jazz, where it's comparable to if Billie Holiday sang with Coltrane and Miles Davis.
Wow.
That kind of vibe.
Who's the...
a little more, well, I guess with a little more swing to it. Yeah, absolutely.
So who would be the Coltrane or Davis in your group? Do you have it?
I don't know.
Do you have folks picked out?
I mean, I know a lot of people who play.
Yeah.
But I like I said, I mean, this is so new that Like, I haven't really even talked to anybody about it, but I do know piano players who...
So are we getting the first in the back of my car that Corey Taylor's making a jazz record?
No, I've talked about it, but you're like the third interview, so
nice.
This is the third one. Yeah.
Very good.
But yeah, man, like, it's something that, you know, I definitely want to do. Like, I want to go in and over a series of, like, you know, a couple weeks here and there, and just really work it out, really do it, and do it cool, and really have fun with it, you know.
So did you? How did you get exposed to jazz music? Was it something that your parents were playing, or your grandma was playing?
No. I got into jazz late, to be honest. I only got into it because of the Ken Burns documentaries.
Oh, right on.
And I devoured them, like, because I'm a huge music history guy anyway, and picking that up and watching it, I like, something in my head just opened to it. Like, I never thought I ever would, you know.
Right.
And I just went, dude, this is amazing. And, like, I saw so many parables between the popularity of jazz and the popularity of rock and roll and whatnot, and how it all kind of, you know, one kind of tapered off, but one kept going, and yet one's still alive. And then there's almost a parable with that and hip hop now with rock and roll. Sure. And yet one's still alive, and it's insane. It's really, really, it's interesting. You know, how that history, that dichotomy kind of works, you know. So it's really cool.
So jazz, possibly country, Slipknot, Stone Sour, spoken word, acoustic shows. Are you ever home?
I am, just to kind of pick up my stuff. Right. You know, I have kitchens I visit. You know.
And you live in Vegas?
I live in Vegas and Iowa. I split time between the two. Yeah.
How do you decide where to go, when to go where?
I mean, it all depends on the schedule. It depends on, you know, like, if I have my son who's 14. He still lives in Iowa. Other than that, you know, if he's at school and I have short breaks, I'll spend a lot of time in Vegas. I just kind of hop back and forth between the two.
Does your son have? Do you think he's a musician?
He's already started his first band, man, which is kind of crazy. He didn't like the name of it. Like, he was hitting me up. He's just like, I need a new name, because the original name was Devils by Heart. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. And he's like, yeah, it's too emo. He's like, I'm not into it. He's like, I got to think of something new. And I was like, okay. Him and his friend just started auditioning people to jam with.
So, what's your son play?
He's a singer.
He's a singer.
Of course. Oh yeah,
right.
And I gotta sit him down and start teaching him guitar, because this now finally he's interested in it.
Right. Yeah.
Wasn't before. Like, all those years, I kept trying to sit him down and get him to, you know, just learn little stuff. He just didn't want to have it, but now he does. I'm
now
like, see, if you'd have started when you were 5, when I was trying to teach you, you'd be shredding by now.
You'd be a virtuoso at this stage of the game. All
I tell you what,
time.
everything with him comes naturally. Like, he sings naturally. He can dance his little ass off, man. It's insane how good he is. And I'm like, if you didn't get that from me, I dance like I'm being shot at. So it doesn't really, you know. So it's cool, you know. It's cool. He's developing his own thing.
Right.
He loves what I do.
Right.
He's proud of it. But he also, you can see that he wants to do his own thing, which makes me proud as a father.
Yeah.
You know, like, he naturally came to it. I didn't force it on him at all.
Right.
He naturally just started picking it up. You know? And
So like, he came to you with a question about the name. Does he come to you with songs like, hey?
Right now, he's not really working on writing anything. He's they're just kind of like doing covers. They're into it. They're doing covers, and that's, honestly, I'm encouraging that, because that's the best way to figure out if you do write songs, what do you want to write like? What type of songs do you want to write? What, you know, it's the best school that you could ever learn, is just playing covers and developing your own style. You know, because that's how I started.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, like, you're almost spoiled for choice. Like, do you think, had Slipknot not jumped off the way it had, it could have very easily been, knowing what you're capable of and knowing how much variety you've got to your voice.
Yeah.
It could have been a completely different type of music that, like, you could have gotten famous doing jazz records or, or acoustic singer-songwriter stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because I was doing that stuff even while I was doing Stone Sour originally. I was doing acoustic sets, you know, all over the place. And, I could have been that, you know. I think I never want to come off like I'm tooting my own horn. ever, you know, because it took a lot of people, a lot of work, and a team effort really to kind of get to where I'm at. You know?
Sure.
I've had a lot of people help me. I'm very lucky, but I think for me, it was a matter of time.
Right.
Like, you know, there was no way I was going to give up and just settle for whatever. I think I was always meant to be doing this, whether it was with Slipknot or just doing it on my own acoustically, you know. Right. So yeah, I feel like in a lot of ways I'm really, really happy for the way it came together, to be honest, because it just feels special, man, you know?
Well, it is. You have, like, you know, you're clearly someone without an off switch. And fortunately, you have an outlet for whatever it is. If you want to write something, there's a chance to go do that. If you want to write music, if you want to write different types of music, you have an avenue for all these things that would probably keep you up at night, and probably still do sometimes. Keep you up at night.
Well, since I don't drink anymore, it's definitely, you know, it's definitely restless sleep night.
Do you think that sort of like work has replaced drinking in some ways?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's definitely replaced a lot. I mean, I'm an incredibly addictive personality, so no matter what my interests are, I tend to go completely into it, you know, like, and for better or for worse, but at the same time, it's like my focus is such that I tend to just do it until I feel like I'm overdoing it.
Sure.
And I try to taper it off as much as I can.
Does your son play any covers of your music?
No, but he definitely jumps around the house to it. Like I'm just waiting to see where he's going to go with everything, you know, because he's into such, like, he loves heavy music and whatnot, loves mine, loves everything, but he's also the guy that turned me on to baby metal. He's a huge baby metal fan.
Oh, really?
And I got to introduce him to them a couple years ago, and he his pants. Like, he was freaking out. And they remembered it so much that on this tour they brought me gifts for my son, which was really, really
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, I was really taken aback by the kindness of that. It's like, it was really cool. And I told my son that they brought him something. He freaked out. He was like, "Oh my God, really?"
That's
I was
amazing.
like, "Yeah." So it's cool. So I'm waiting to see if he ever does something like that. But
you know,
we'll see.
Sting's son was in a Police cover band.
Oh, really?
And didn't tell the rest of the guys in the band that he was Sting's son.
Really?
They're like, this guy even looks the part.
That's amazing.
So maybe he'll pull that number.
Funny.
So we are just pulling into the hospital, getting ready to go visit Aaron. So we'll stop this for now.
Okay.
Thank you so much, dude.
All good, man. No worries.
So at this point, we go into the rehab center, we meet Aaron, and it's an incredible and beautiful experience. There's a video up on my blog that you can check out. But now, let's fast forward to where Corey and I get back in the car after having met Aaron. So we're here again in the back of my car with Corey Taylor. We just met Aaron in his rehab center next to the hospital. Yeah. Amazing experience. Thank you so much for doing what you did for him.
I wouldn't have missed that for the world. And honestly, he did just as much for me, man. Like, you want to talk about dealing with something incredibly painful and life-altering, and yet that young man has the best outlook I've ever seen of anyone in that position. He lifted me up just as much as I did anything for him. So yeah,
he was a jokey guy.
Yeah,
he said the jokes got him through, and I was like, "You're in your wheelchair now. You're stabilized. You've probably been on some painkillers." But apparently, he started with the jokes with the paramedics.
Yeah,
in the ambulance,
on the way to the hospital after the accident. I was like, yeah, I mean, that is just a rarity these days. You just don't see that kind of fortitude, you know? And I respect the hell out of that. Like, it's done a lot for me, man. Like, it's heavy, you know? Yeah. And just the fact that did something for him, just seeing me, I take that shit very, very seriously. So,
well, cool, man. Thank you so much.
It's all good.
If you take a step towards me, you will take my breath away. So I'll keep you close and keep my secrets safe. No one else has ever loved me. No one else has ever never tried, I never understood how much I could take.